Hello, this is Nick from www.rei-tv.com. As you can see, this is one of our A Day in the Life episodes, and if I don't get killed or hit somebody, you'll see the whole thing. Anyway, I'm headed out. I'm in the car, obviously, and hold on, okay. I'm headed to a house that we're going to take subject to. And we're probably going to take subject to. Now, right now in this market being kind of weird, this isn't something we do a lot of because prices, as you know, are dropping. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? It's the sound of the market dropping. Anyway, prices are going down, but we're getting a good enough deal on this property to make it worth our while. We researched the area. We're really getting this at a price where they can go down another good amount and we'd still be good. So this property is worth about $155,000, $160,000 on today's comps. It was worth about $185,000 not long ago. The guy bought it a couple of years ago. He owes about $124,000. And we're going to take it subject to, which means he's going to sign the property over to us. He's going to give us the property, and we have our choice of either making it contingent, and this is something to write down, take this note. If you're taking a property subject to, you might want to think about making it contingent upon the sale, not upon the sale, contingent upon you finding your tenant. So if you don't find your tenant, you never take over the house and you're never responsible, because the entrance strategy is take it subject to. They deed us the house, we now own it, we leave their mortgage on it. I will never have to go out and get a mortgage to buy this house. We're going to leave the seller's mortgage on it, and then I'm just going to send a check every month to his mortgage company. The exit strategy, there's a lot of exit strategies, but in this case we're going to use a combination of two. We're going to take the property and we're going to make it contingent on us finding a tenant. So we're not going to record the deed or own it until we find somebody ready to move in. But as we're looking for somebody to move in, we're also going to look for somebody just to buy it. It's worth about $155,000 in today's market. We're paying around $123,000. So if we find a buyer quick enough, we'll sell it for around $145,000. We'll make a quick $22,000. Otherwise, we'll put a tenant in. But the whole thing happens. We got it locked up. We're going to have it locked up as long as it's in good enough shape, and we won't be responsible for any payments. So that's one option. The seller is also offered, if we'll take it right now and we'll take it now, put it in our name now, close, we own it, he's totally out of the picture, he'll make the next 2 months mortgage payments on our behalf. So we've got a choice to make. We're not sure yet. We got to, look into it a little bit more. But if we did it that way, he'd write us a check for around $3,000 now. We'll take another $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 from our tenant as they move in, unless we sell it, whatever happens first. So we'll make $8,000 or $10,000 up front, and we'll have a house. The payments are about $1,200 a month in an area that we could get $1,650. So we'll make $450 a month cash flow. And then whether we sell it now or we sell it down the road. Now, obviously, if we sell it down the road after the economy gets a little bit better, we'll make $50,000 on it. But I think we might just as well sell it now quick. We're getting it at a real good deal, $125,000 for a house worth close to $160,000, and we'll sell it for a pretty good deal. We'll sell it for $145,000 or so, make some quick money. So what we're going to have to see today is the condition of the house. He said it just needs paint and carpet. Even if we take it over sub 2, we'll tell our tenant we wanted $12,000 up front as an option fee, but as long as you can come up with $6,000 or $7,000, we really want $8,000, but if you can come up with $7,000 and do the carpeting and paint yourself, we'll take that to let you move in. So I'm on the way to the house. I'll let you know as things go. We'll show you the house in a little bit. See you in probably a split second from your end. Okay, here I am at the property, and I'm going to nickname this one the Barracks. In a second, I'll show you the property, and you'll see why I'm going to call it the Barracks. But we're here, and going to go in and talk to the seller, see if it's something we want to pursue, get the first contract signed at least so we can start moving on it. So I'm going to show you the building, though. Hold on. You didn't have to hold on long, did you? Well, here's the building. It's a townhome, 3 different units. You see now why I'm calling it the Barracks. Not a whole lot of curb appeal, actually. But let's take a walk inside and show you what we got. Here's the hallway, and we'll just kind of take the quick tour. It's not a big unit. 2 bedrooms. Got a 2-car garage, which is good. they're leaving all the appliances. They're leaving the washer, dryer, microwave, dishwasher, everything in the kitchen. It's got some nice amenities, which makes it attractive. Television. Look at that. They're even leaving the gas-fueled auto-start fireplace. That's the best thing about the place. It's got some high ceilings in here. Little kitchen. Very small. This reminds me of the first place that I ever lived in. The first home I ever lived in was a 2-bedroom townhome in Dallas, Texas. I lost it to foreclosure. Yeah, I was poor. I know you can all relate, believe me. A little skylight up there. Not a big kitchen, but what do you expect? The stairway here goes up. A little vaulted ceiling. And upstairs you got a couple of bedrooms. So that's a tour of the place. Give me a minute now, we're going to talk, and then when I hit the car, I'll let you guys know how it all ended up. Let me flip it around here. Here I am in front of the television. Then he's leaving, in front of that really cool, where's my hand? Really cool, what is it? Fireplace. So sit tight, I'll let you know how this all ended up in a minute. Boy, I need to go on a diet. Just thought I'd show you really quick. We got the sign up right away. We're going to put a few more up in the neighborhood for sale by owner, because like I said before, we might do a retail flip where we just find someone that wants to buy it at a good price and sell it to them and keep the difference. And of course we added rent to own to the top corner there. I want to point out our snowman. Look there, there's a little snowman because I started to write the wrong number. So I knew you'd like that. Okay, now here's what happened. We talked to the seller and we got a deal. The house is worth about $160. He owes about $125. We have a contract on it. Now, like I said before, one of the important things about this contract is that it's contingent on us finding a tenant or a buyer. So I'm not responsible for anything, $10, unless we find someone to take it over from us. We're trying to stay real safe. If we wanted to convert this into a lease, once we do a little more homework, although we've already seen the comps, we would do a lease to own instead of a subject to, and we wouldn't actually take ownership right now. That way we can get out of it in a year. But we're pretty solid. It's a good contract. We have no risk unless our tenants move in and don't pay, but like I said before, we're going to try to sell it first. One of the things that's really important is you want to get the deed in this type of a deal rather than a lease, as if you don't feel comfortable with the seller. If the seller has bad credit or they're on their way down, you only want to do a lease in this situation from somebody who's on their way up, who's got good credit, or their credit's getting better, or they're moving up in the world. Because if there's liens on the property, which we're going to have to do title searches and everything, we don't ever do title searches or any of that until we got the contract signed like we just did. But if there's liens or anything, you know, or if the seller can get us in trouble anyway, then we don't want to lease it. We want to own it. It's always better to own it too. So we got our signs up. I would be surprised, very surprised, if we didn't already have calls on this property, because we put rent to own, if we didn't already have calls on this property when we get back to the office. So there's a few different options for you. It's a good deal for us. We're going to sell it. Our exit strategy, like I said, is to lease it out. We'll get a little bit of money up front. Now, it needed some work. It needed the front door fixed, the garage door fixed. It needed paint and carpet. Some people wouldn't put carpet in, but I would. So we're going to tell people we want a 10% option fee. It's going to cost you 10% to move in, Mr. Buyer, which is $15,000 roughly, $15,500. But Mr. Seller, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, if you're willing to take it as is and fix those few little things yourself, maybe throw some paint on it, try washing the carpets or replace the carpets, if you take it the way it is, we'll settle for $6,000, which is around 4%. And I've never done a repair to a sub 2. I've always been able to find a tenant buyer who's willing to go in and put the money in to save them a little bit of money. So all in all, it was a good day. We got a deal signed. This is a great market. If you're not looking at all types of deals right now, subject to, and you don't have to be doing them all, but they're all still viable in this market. Sub 2s are good. Short sales are wonderful. This guy's current with his payments, so it's not going to be a short sale. But just make sure when you're taking these over that you try. Right now in today's market, there's no reason for you to take any risk or put up any big sums of money to control properties or to own properties. This is Nick. Oh, I'm moving the camera around. Scared you, huh? This is Nick from www.rei-tv.com. Thanks for watching. Now go make an offer.